hopefully I'll go through and show you how I go, process I use for turning pepper mills. I started out, I was always interested in turning a pepper mill. I don't know why. I guess I've seen a lot of ads, people having different pepper mills they were selling. But so I had a neighbor that had a lathe, and so I went over there and got a piece of, I bought a piece of dogwood offline, and so I went over there and he kind of gave me a little instructions, and so I turned this thing out. And, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it would work. My wife loves it, so it was the first one I ever did. So, and then I bought a lathe over here from a guy, Grizzly, over there next to the airport. Been about, gosh, 10 years ago or more, and so I started turning these pepper mills, and that's about the only thing I turned. I've done bowls and played with them a little bit, but the pepper mills is what I've stuck with. So first thing I want to let you know is, first thing I always do, or I make sure that my two centers in my lathe are right together. Because if you think about it, if it's off a hair, and you're back here doing a lathe, a pepper mill that's 12 inches long, you're going to be off, you know, the center's not going to line up with the top. So your center's going to drill off center. So that's the first thing that I like to do. So I turned a couple blanks. This one's out of Ambrose Bay. And the first thing you want to do is lay this out the way you want it. When I turn a blank, I always put a tinion on the end that the top is going to go off. And that's just how you could do two separate pieces, but I like to do it all together. It just saves a couple steps following the material. So I drew up this little template just as a demonstration. Sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. But what you want to do, say if this was in here, it'd be in here this way. You want to leave room for your spigot on the top. So when I lay this out, I always have this at least an inch or inch and a half longer than what my pepper mill is going to be, because I want the spigot to be part of the whole length. So I cut this out of one piece of wood instead of doing two pieces of wood. So what I do is lay this out. See, that's where my top's going to end. So what I've got here, this is going to be my length of my base. And this little piece here is going to be my top. And I leave a ½ inch onto that to make my top. So when I go to do the top, that's going to be about a ½ inch. You can also go along and mark high spots and low spots on here. I'll put a couple spots there for lows. This will be a high. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to flatten this end down a little bit, and then we'll shape that up a little bit up to where it's going to be. So I'll square up this end a little bit. This down a little bit. This again. I'm going to mark this where the end of this base is going to be. Okay, I'm going to come in here and we'll take some of this out. Start shaping and do it a little bit.
What tool are you using there, Ronnie?
This is just a carbide tip.
Yep.
I'll put me a little Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut down on this spigot for the top, and I'm not going to go all the way with that because what I'm going to do now is we'll drill an 1 5/8 hole on the bottom, about a 1/2 inch thick.
Use a Forster bit to do all your drilling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I find it's much easier.
More wood. It's a lot better surface as well.
Yeah.
Those of you who use Forstner bits, you know you can sharpen those with a diamond, diamond hole. Yeah. Save a lot of money.
Whoop. Not used to this lathe. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Got a little beeswax here. Maybe that'll help. Okay, now that we have that, we want to, with the directions I have on the pepper mill mechanism, they say to do an 1 1/8 and an 1 1/16. And the reason they do that is so this mechanism will fit up inside here. But I found you don't have an 1 1/16, you can always use an inch and just relieve this out a little bit in the middle so the mechanism will fit in there. You don't have to invest in another drill bit because 1 1/16 Forstner bit's not very common. So
And not very cheap.
no.
One more.
Okay, so I know I want to come to here with my end of my, where I'm going to drill up my hole. What I do, I line this up and I mark my bit where I got to drill to. So I might have to do 2 steps here, but we'll see. Yep. So I'll do it, drill this as far as I can, and then I'll put the extension on so I can get all the way down. Keep the wood staying in as much as you can. Okay, we'll put this extension on and try it again.
Be more.
Shorter extension. It's about a long.
Do you use carbide tools for all that up to this point?
Not really. Most of the time I'll you know, but I find it's easier, faster, I guess. But like I say, I'm not going to design much. I'm just going to go through the technique and show you how I do it. And, okay. So we got to go up to this mark. I usually don't use a glue that block, so I hope it stays together. Get my set screws tight.
You get your bid out?
I don't know now. Uh-oh. Ooh. And then it's hot too.
Like I said, that's never happened with me, but it has. You always want to go real slow to force your bits, otherwise you won't ping. I never go like 200. You can feel really quickly. And stop smoking and going too fast. Oh, you're smoking.
While you're setting up, where's a good place to get saw blades sharpened?
Union Grove.
Or Wilkes Tool, if they're still open.
Is that where Parker Tye sends them
Yeah.
to Union?
Yeah, they have about a 2-week turnaround.
Well, it's about a 3 months turnaround last time.
There's a place I've had, and I haven't done it for years, but I think there's still there, it's just before you get Highway 16 on 421 going to Wilkesboro. There's now a new storage unit, storage place there, but I think it's called Wilkes Tool. But they've sharpened joiner blades and table saw blades. And if they're still there, they do a really good job, and turnaround's quick.
Right there.
You know about them?
Hi.
I hadn't used them. You're talking about, there's Wilkes Electric Motor.
This is before you get to 16 coming from Boone,
Okay.
About how far before she's, like,
quarter mile.
the logger shop?
No, well past that. So, you know where the stoplight is?
Yeah.
There's where the 2 gas stations
Yeah,
are?
yeah.
It's about a quarter mile.
Before you get to-
Before you get there on the left.
Okay.
There's a new storage thing that just put in there. It's behind that. You can't see it from the road now, but they do a real good job. Sorry.
I've got a neighbor that does that. I live over on the Water Tank Road,
He does it?
and he sharpens big saw blades and cable saw blades.
Oh, cool.
And
I'll holler
his
at
place
you.
is, he's the saw doctor, and,
He's pretty reasonable.
yeah, I can't remember, I just had one sharpened, seemed like $10, $15, something I can't.
Per tooth.
I'll holler at you, catch you after.
Ken, Waylon Cox called me, if anybody's interested, yesterday. And he made it home Tuesday, been down in Forsyth over a month. And, he just wanted me to mention, thank you for calling and the dryer.
We want to cut this down to,
1 1/16 so it can fit inside the hole that we just drilled. But I'll get it down close and then we'll cut it off.
okay, what I'll do now is, that's going to be my spigot on my top. And,
Yeah, you want to, just have voice?
I'll kind of shape the top up a little bit.
Okay, hopefully I'll go through and show you how I go, the process I use for turning pepper mills. I started out, I was always interested in turning a pepper mill. I don't know why, I guess I've seen a lot of ads, people having different pepper mills that were selling. But, so I had a neighbor that had a lathe and perfect, but it worked. And then I bought a lathe over here from a guy, Grizzly, over here next to the about, gosh, 100 years ago or more. And so I started turning these pepper mills, and that's about the only thing I
What
turned.
you want to make sure
Played with them a little bit.
while I have these in the lathe right here,
The
I
pepper
want to
mills
make
is what
sure
I'm stuck with.
that
So,
this top piece,
first thing I want to let you know is, first thing I always do, make sure that my two centers in the lathe are right together.
so you don't want.
Because if you think about it, if it's off a hair, And you're back here doing a lathe, pepper mill that's 12
It's
inches
great, I
long.
like to do that here
Now
now
it'll be
because
off,
you got both together.
You know, the center's not gonna line up
See
with
if
the
it's gonna
top.
match up, so.
So your center's gonna drill off center.
Ronnie,
So
do you not use
that's the,
calipers to get,
first thing.
are you eyeballing the diamonds?
So I turned a couple blanks. Yeah, I do, but, you can pretty much see that. What's critical is you don't wanna go too far on the piece on your, top. They're just going to, this one's out of, Ambrose Bay. You know, we wanna make sure that, you know, that looks like it's gonna match up, okay. I'm not gonna cut too much, I don't wanna make too big a mess, but, and the, first thing you wanna do is lay this out the way you want it. When I turn a blank, I always put a tension on the end that the top is going to go. That's how you can do two separate pieces, or I can do it all together. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna park this off. I got a couple of handouts here. And then what I'll do is, chuck this up separate. If I wanted to sand it or whatever, clean it all up. But while I've got that off, now I can go ahead and do my top and make sure my top, cut this down until it fits into the center of the shaft, so.
You just undercut the top and the bottom a little bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm not gonna do much now, but that's what I'll do. I'll just park that and, then we can, see, like I say, I want to keep them together here so you can see these two mating pieces that come together. I think those instructions I gave you, you can do, they want you to go ahead, they do the top separate from the, but I'll just find this is easier. Another thing I like to do is I cut this kind of bevel-like, so you don't have as much wood on the surface as you go to turn the top. You don't have a whole lot of mating surface on there, it just makes it easier.
How many of those you reckon you made, Ronnie?
Do what?
How many of those you reckon you've made?
Probably, probably about 30 or 40.
Do you sell, doing the sales, Ronnie, or?
And I give them all away. I usually give them for people that do something nice or gifts. And I did sell one, and like I sold one in to Bob and the Bee Association, his wife, and so you know, I was hoping she was going to come by and pick it up because I wanted to see what she. Well, he picked it up, took it home, and I never got any satisfaction to see how she liked it or not. So I said, I'm not doing that anymore.
For the guys that might be starting out, it's something I learned the hard way. I have a whole bunch of the machinist calipers, you know, with the little knob, you know. And those are made for metal. They're not made for wood. And before you use them on wood, you want to take your diamond stick or something and round the edge that touches the wood, because that thing's going to catch and it's going to whop your hand like crazy.
Okay, so while I have this off now, I want to go ahead and get a good, nice fit on this. So. Double check this. See, that's pretty much on the center. Even though it did wobble a little bit on it. Oh, it is off.
So that being, if the hole's off center a little bit, is that gonna cause a problem?
Yeah, because, well, it won't look right, because as you go to turn it, one side will be on. Actually, that's off, but not used to this lathe, so.
That's what that would be.
But, I mean, people other than a wood turner probably never noticed it, would they?
Yeah, it's pretty noticeable.
We can always tell that's, it's like those curved bowls or something that don't dry right. You'd say that's really tough to do. It's special design.
So, I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
I meant to do that.
Yeah, I meant.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, that was the look I was going for.
That's right. It's hard to do that. It's hard to cut things, you know, like that on a lathe. Yeah.
Okay. Get some of this off here.
Ronnie, you using that diamond parting tool?
It's just I've got it cut down.
Okay.
Yeah, it's off a little bit, but,
It's good enough for Ashe County.
Well, you could put that between centers again and true it up if you got enough wall thickness.
you could, yeah. Yeah, you'd have to take quite a bit off on that one, but, cut this end off here. put the 9/32 drill bit in there,
That's what the manufacturer calls for. We'll drill that all the way through, at least through the top of the. Okay, we'll go ahead and, what I do a lot of times, I'll use another chuck. And I can chuck this up, I just got a cheap old, instead of changing the jaws in it, I'll just put it in here and then I can sand that and finish it all off without, it's easier to change it that way.
Never get too many chucks.
Okay, and that's basically what we're gonna end up with, so. Mounting this is not, you know, with the kit they give you, you just have to drill small holes. And the one thing I do, you're gonna ask, well, how do you know how long to make it with this shaft? Well, what I do, I don't go by that. This is aluminum, so what I do, I put this together, measure where my top has to come out, and I cut it down here at the bottom, and I put the top back on it, cut it off, and just take a ball peen hammer and mash out the ends. It don't take much for it to stay there. That way you don't have to go through and measure it each time to make sure you're fitting it to one of these. So I just find that's a lot easier, and it doesn't take much to do it. But I'll put the top back on with a little bit of, I'll put it on a piece of brass and pound it so you don't mess the end up. So, but you can just cut that with a hacksaw and peen it over, and you're good to go.
Where you get your mechanism?
It's on their chief,
Chief
go to their
Ware Kits.
website. And I think, a couple other companies have them. I'd stay away from the Chinese brands. say, these are all stainless steel made in USA. And, but that's the process I use, and it goes pretty quick.
So other advice, things that have gone wrong in the past for you, what should you be looking at if you're starting this for the first time? What could go wrong?
What can go wrong? The drill will get stuck in.
You demonstrated that very nicely.
Yeah, okay. But, like I say, getting it centered, I had some chatter here, I don't know why. I think that was the wood chips in there. I couldn't clear it out, but normally it goes straight in, and I don't have as long as your lathe lines up straight, that's an important key. I mean, don't hurt to check it every now and then. If it's off a little bit, it can make a big difference. But, you know, this way, you can put these two pieces in the lathe and sand them and finish them up, you know. I'll usually finish them up on the lathe before I take them out, but
How do you fit, what finish you use, Ronnie?
I use strictly super glue.
Really?
But, and it's not, you know, it's bigger than a pen, but it's not too big. Yeah, all of them I've done has been super glue, and I like the hard finish because it's durable. You know, people in the kitchen using it, it doesn't soften up, and it's very, very hard.
Somebody just came, I don't know which CA brand it is, but came out with a kit just for doing pens, CA.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I just saw it in Amy Woodturners.
Now, I've got a video, I'll bring it next month, on a guy made this video on filling gaps with that metal powder. Very interesting, but you can, and he does designs, he'll cut grooves in his, you know, if you got a crack, he'll take a little grinder and grind it out and make a design in it and fill it all in and finish it, but it's pretty interesting. I've got it just because I wanted to see his technique on the wood inlays, but.
Does he use different kinds of metals or?
Oh yeah, they have, it's powder, it's real fine powder. They have stainless steel, they have gold, they have copper, brass. So you could use that in, you know, filling cracks with, you could just use super glue, you know, just like you did on that. But use the powder, you get it in all different, and it's not very expensive. You get a big bag for about, depends on whether it's copper or gold.
If it's not gold.